gosh, what am I doing? Hi, my name is Katrina Walser and I am a knitting teacher and designer based in Sydney in Australia. And so if we haven't met before, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I have a process video for you, a video diary. A couple of months ago, my friend Cam released a pattern called the Greek Cacao, and it was so beautiful, I really needed to make it, but it was two-stranded color work, which is a technique that I've told myself I didn't want to mess with for a really long time because it seemed quite annoying to do. So I figured I would document my journey, hopefully just to show you that even if you're really bad at something at the start, you can get better at it if you practice. And boy, was I bad at it at the start. You'll see in a minute. Yeah, so bear with me for the first minute or two of this because it was a little painful. And I sort of sat there muttering to myself like a crazy woman because I was a little stressed out. But this is the cowl. So I'm this far through now, and so hopefully by the end of the video it'll be done. All right, I don't really remember how to do this. Also, there are 8 stitches, which means I think I'm gonna have to catch some floats. Yeah, so from what I understand or what I remember with doing color work is that you don't want there to be like long strands. 2, 3, 4. You don't want there to be long sections more than like 4 or 5 stitches where you're just working on one color. Otherwise you get these really long strands behind your work. So I think I have to catch this float, which you go under here and over the top, I think. Oh gosh, what am I doing? All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. And then 3, the next one. So 1, 2, 3. I have no idea if that tension is okay. Switch colors. 12, 13, 14, 15, and then we catch the float. Sixteen, 17, 18. It's meant to be 19, 20. Hi, so I probably spent about 2 hours last night doing the colorwork section, and I decided that the way I was doing it, trying to use my left hand for both strands, was just too slow. So I do sort of remember how to do English style knitting, and I knew that you could do a technique where you held one color in one hand and the other color in the other hand, and so you do continental with one strand and English with the other. So I gave that a shot and still don't love it. It's okay. So I've done 1 chart repeat so far. So I'll show you. So that's what it looks like at the moment. And my tension, so I'm holding the blue in the left and the white in the right, and my tension is like all over the shop still. Like it's really just, yeah. So we'll have to work on it a bit. Oh, and the other thing that helped a bit is that I looked up a tutorial on how to catch your floats without dropping all the thread, because at first I was like, to catch the float, I was just like dropping both strands and doing a twist like you would with intarsia, and then picking them both back up again and then going from there. It was just getting really slow. So I looked up a video and I found a good one about how to catch floats without dropping everything. and that's actually sped it up a little bit too. So we'll see, we're getting there. I think it's just got to take a lot of practice, which I'm not the most patient person in the world. But I'm only 1 repeat in, and I have another 2 to go in this section. So we'll see how we go. Still not loving it, but I'll keep trying. So in a very 2021 sort of move, I brought my knitting to do while I was sitting in the car waiting for a drive-through COVID test. And don't worry, I am sitting in the passenger seat. We drive on the right-hand side of the car in Australia. Okay, so I figured I'd give a quick update on how it's all going. So it was really funny. I got to the end of the first pattern repeat and the stockinette went so quickly. So the scarf is sections of like stockinette and then pattern repeat and then stockinette and then pattern repeat and so on. And yeah, I think my brain was like, ooh, stockinette, and I was done in a couple of, I don't know, probably like an hour and a half with the next stockinette section. And so then the next thing I knew, I had more color work to do. It's going better. I had to go up another needle size because I'll grab it, I'll show you. This is inside out, but if you look at the first pattern repeat, it was just like too small. It was so tight. You can see that it's starting to gather a little bit there on the edge, where it goes from the white with the floats to just the solid blue, and that's because, yeah, my tension, the first time I did the color work section, my tension was so tight. So I went up yet another needle size. So now I'm doing the color work is on a needle that's like 3 sizes bigger than the stockinette, so it should be fine. And I'm trying to be really conscious about being loose, like more loose with my with the knitting and the color work bits. I feel like it might be too loose sometimes, but it's working a bit better now, so maybe that'll be just what I need to do. But I'm excited for this next stockinette bit, so we'll see. But yeah, it's going better. I'll show you now what it actually looks like as I knit, but definitely feels a bit better. Still not loving it, but still feeling better. Okay, so here we are. I started knitting the whole thing inside out because I heard that's meant to help with tension when you're doing color work. So this is what I was saying. See how it's like, look how much bigger that is. So much bigger. But I don't really want to change needle size again for either section, so I think I'm just gonna roll with it. It'll be fine. Maybe this will block out to be a bit wider. But this is what it looks like, which is super pretty. It's one of those ones where up close it doesn't look like much, but when you zoom out you can really see the pattern. So it's nice. It's definitely worth the effort, I think, so far. So I've gotten a bit better. This is the last row of this color work section. So I'm excited to get back to some stockinette, but I'll show you how I'm doing it now. So I hold the blue in my left hand and the white in my right hand. So I knit just normally continental with my left hand and then throw with the right here. Yeah, and then this, just getting used to doing the throwing again with the right hand has been interesting. 1, 2, and then when I want to catch a float, you insert in here and this is what I learned on YouTube. You put this around this way and then you put this one over the top and then you pull this back down and then you pull that loop through. So it's like, the lady in the YouTube video who I watched said it would be like a fun process to do, and I was like, how does that look fun? But then actually it is sort of fun when you do it quickly because it feels a bit like magic. So yeah, it's just having the stitches not fit around the cable is also hampering me a bit, but I don't actually have a smaller cable. So it's meant to be 5 pattern repeats, which is 5 of those diamonds. And I am turning it back inside out for the stockinette sections, just to see if that'll make the stockinette bits smaller, stockinette sections smaller a bit. So 1 pattern repeat is one of these diamonds. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sweet. So that's it. That's the end of the second colourwork section. So I was excited enough about getting to some stockinette that I just camped out in the study where my husband was because he had the heater on, and I just set up my iPad and went to town. I think I banged out the whole stockinette section in like an hour again, just because it's so much more relaxing and fun. Oh my gosh, guys, this is so upsetting. Look what I did. It's like fully splintered. My project bag that I keep my cowl in is like a drawstring like this. So I usually like sling it over my shoulder every so often. And I had it on my shoulder and I went to sit down in the car and I just didn't take it off. And I managed to snap my needle and stab myself in the back at the same time because I am uncoordinated. So don't do that. Take your bags off when you're going to go sit down in the car and save yourself the hassle. Hey, so I wanted to do a quick progress update. This is what my cowl looks like now. I just got to the end of the 3rd colourwork section. So this is the first section, then this is the second one, and then this is the 3rd one. It's definitely growing on me. I did make some mistakes in somewhere in here because I thought I had the chart memorized and then turns out I didn't. But they're subtle enough that I just don't really care enough to go back and fix them. I've decided to put this on pause for a little while. So it is July here, which is the middle of winter, and it's just getting colder and colder. And so I do have some like really sort of thick winter projects that I wanted to start doing. And this is just taking a little longer than I thought it would. So I'm going to put this, and I need the cable for another project as well. So I'm going to put this on pause for the moment and probably start it again closer to spring. So we will come back in a couple of months. Hi. Okay, so I had been letting my scarf hibernate for a little while because I had some other things that I needed to do, but I'm picking it up again now. So I figured I would actually talk about the yarn because I realized I haven't actually done that yet. And so it seemed like a good opportunity because I'm about to add the 3rd colour in. So I may as well just talk about all of them. So the nice purpley colour was a gift actually, which was really nice. It is Itata from Araucania, which I think unfortunately might be discontinued now, but this is the label, and it is 70% wool, 15% silk, and 15% bamboo. It is very, very light fingering, I would say. Like, it's really skinny. But it is beautiful. It's been so lovely to work with. And so the like speckly white color is from Down Under Dyer, who's my friend Mel. She is an indie dyer out of Sydney. And the colorway is called Calico. I would call it cream, but I could see why people would argue that it's gray. It definitely has some specks of gray in there. And also some like different specks of color. So there are little bits of orange and some pinks in there, which is really cute, especially because the next color that I'm going to be moving to is like a very pinky purple. This is Magnolia, also from Down Under Dyer. And yeah, it's just this gorgeous like pinky color, which is going to go really nicely with the other two. Hang on, I'll see if I can hold them all up together. while I'm holding the camera. Ta-da! So that's the color combo. Yeah, so I'm really excited to wind this up and then keep going with my scarf. So I decided to take my knitting to the park, which was a nice change actually. We're in lockdown at the moment, so getting outside has been a little tricky, but luckily the playgrounds are open and my daughter's at the age now where she can leave me alone for a little while and just play, so I can take my knitting to the park, which is nice. Also, it's been nice and sunny actually, which is part of why I picked this cowl back up, because it's actually gotten warmer in the last couple of weeks, which is nice. So I've been powering along and I am almost at the end of the first chart repeat in the pink section. Alrighty, so I figured I would show you all how my colourwork technique looks like now. It actually has like clicked in the last few days. I think I've finally gotten the hang of it. So I do work with it inside out. So the working part is at the back here and the bulk of it sits here in the front and the wrong side is facing out. And so I hold one strand in my left hand and one strand in my right, and the left hand is just regular continental, and then catching floats has become pretty second nature. That was it. And then when you get to a white bit, you just knit English, which I've gotten used to again, to be honest. I've been doing so much of this color work over the last few days because I decided to just finish the cowl already, that I wanted to get it done. So I've really been knitting a lot of this and it's just become pretty natural. And we're done. That's it. How exciting. Let's see what it looks like. So flipping this in and out, flipping this the right way round and inside out has been a bit of a struggle as it got longer, but it's been okay. Here she is, ta-da! So, and then this is where the stripes come in for the color. And that's it. And I do actually think that maybe my tension has gotten better in the colourwork sections. This feels a lot more even than it was in the blue bits. So let's compare. So this colourwork bit is a little bit skinnier than the pink bit, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's about the same actually. So yeah. That's it. There is still some stockinette left to do, but I am officially at the end of the colourwork. Hooray! So here she is. She's not done obviously because the ends are all here, but it was the end of the colourwork section, so I figured I could call it done for the purposes of this video at least. I'm curious to see how the blocking helps it, because, okay, so final thoughts. I don't hate colourwork anymore, which is the best I could have hoped for, I think. It's a big step for me, actually. I
I do feel like by the end of it, I'd gotten into a rhythm and I wasn't fighting with my knitting anymore, which was the main problem I was having at the start. It finally felt like it was flowing. I do worry that the tension is so different. So that's what I was saying. I'll be curious to see if the blocking helps with that. Because I think if I was going to do color work again, what I'd want to make would be one of those lovely color work jumpers. And if it's like a yoked jumper and the color work and the stockinette are so different to each other, I worry that I'll have like a really tight bust and a really loose body. And so if anybody has any tips for how to improve the difference between tension, I'd be really interested to hear them. Or if anyone has like a really sort of intro colorwork jumper pattern that they love, I'd be curious about that too. But I think that's the only thing I could really be tempted back into doing colorwork for. Like, honestly, I still just like, it feels super fussy to me still. Like, I'd honestly rather do 2-color brioche over this, just because you only have to work with one strand at a time. But I don't hate it anymore. So that's a very big step for me. So hopefully this was helpful in some capacity. And yeah, just like, I don't know, don't be like me. Try things. Don't tell yourself you can't just do something. Give it a shot. And it does take some practice sometimes, as you can see, but you can get there in the end. So let me know if this was any good, or if it wasn't even. Just drop a comment below, because I am really curious to see if this was useful at all. Because if it was just totally boring, then I won't make any more of these videos. But if it was, then let me know. And if you're looking for me elsewhere, I am at Oliphant Cat on Instagram. I will definitely post pictures of what this looks like when it's done. And I will show you, I should have it done before the next podcast episode. So I post new videos every Thursday. And so if you would like to keep track of what I'm up to, or if you just want to see what this ends up looking like, best way to keep an eye out for when new videos drop is to subscribe and hit the little bell notification. But other than that, thanks for coming on this strange and somewhat painful but sort of rewarding journey with me. And I will see you next Thursday.